Welcome. Namaste. Welcome back to your basic foundational yoga posture of the week, where over the last several select weeks, I have been choosing basic foundational yoga postures to break down, get into, help you to understand the pose, explain some of its benefits, some of its contraindications, and just basically give you a rundown of these basic beginner postures. So this video content is really great for folks who are brand new to the practice, who don't quite understand what yoga is all about, and just would like to start exploring from a very beginner level. It's also fantastic for folks who have fallen out of practice, or who have not maintained a regular practice, or who just want to get back to the basics. So this week's posture, I'm Jessie, by the way, aka Moonchild Yoga. And this week's posture, this concludes our series. So we're coming to the very end of the series. So if you have practiced yoga at all before, you will be very familiar with our Shavasana or corpse pose. So corpse pose or Shavasana is usually practiced at the end of even a short yoga practice. So it's a really great time to come into a relaxed version, a most relaxed version of your own physical body. And so the posture is typically lying flat on the floor. And so, of course, I will show some modifications if lying flat on the floor is not your thing. But without further ado, we're going to come into this posture right now. So if you have any props, if you're sitting on any props, you're going to move them off to the side. And then I like to come into this posture from a Dandasana seated staff pose position, particularly if I am only practicing this posture. So if you are somebody who likes to practice yoga, but you are short on time, it has been said by very prominent yogis or yoginis that if the only pose that you practice during your practice, if you can only practice one pose, it needs to be your Shavasana corpse pose. So you're going to take a long breath in, find length in the spine if you're coming into the pose from your Dandasana staff pose, such as I am. Find softness in your shoulders, and then as you breathe out, you're simply going to come down onto your forearms, come down into a reclining position to the best of your ability. So letting your chin travel down towards your chest, tucking your tailbone up towards your belly button, and take up some space. So letting your feet hang out wide. And let your hands also spread out a little wider than your body. And you are feeling the entirety of your spine press down into the earth here. And as I had mentioned, this is traditionally the ending of a yoga practice. So we want to conclude by letting all of the work that we previously did melt down into the earth so our body can rest. And if this is the only pose you are practicing, just simply focus on all of those areas that are touching down into the earth. And bring your full attention to your breath. And every time as you're here that your mind wanders, just gently as you notice that, because it inevitably will wander, gently bring your attention back to your breath. And so, as I have mentioned in previous videos, Modifications are by the millions. There are so many different ways that you can modify in your practice to help your body more easily adapt to some of these postures, specifically if you have any sort of physical ailments or limitations, or prior injuries. The sky is really the limit. So, for video length sake, because some of my previous videos have gotten rather long with this subject matter, I'm just going to demonstrate just a couple of modifications for your Shavasana corpse pose. So having one of these smaller blankets, so if you have a Walmart in your area, they offer these blankets at a relatively cheap price. Folding it into fours and rolling it up to place under your knees. So that gives your knees a little extra support. I had mentioned about my posterior knee sensitivity before. So this really helps to alleviate that pressure. And I like to bring a bolster lengthwise to where my sacrum is. So the area right above my sits bones. So this bolster is a medium width bolster. And so I'll bring it long ways, bring that short end to the very base of my spine there. And then taking a long breath in, I'm going to grow long and tall in the spine, letting the shoulders soften down the back, softening my face and jaw. And then on my breath out, I'm simply going to recline back onto my bolster. And I'm going to get nice and comfy here. And so once again, taking up space can be the name of the game. You can spread your legs out a little wider on your blanket if you have it placed properly under your knees. So you want it placed where the length can give you a little space to be able to kind of widen out your legs a little bit. And then bringing the backs of the hands to the earth, palms are facing up towards the sky. And this specific Shavasana corpse pose modification is a really nice heart opener. So it's going to open up across your chest here. And then closing your eyes down. And once again, you're going to feel all of those areas that are touching down to the earth. And you're going to bring your full attention to your breath. And every time your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, once you've found softness and stillness and gotten all of your fidgets out, every time your mind wanders, let your attention come back to your breath. And then to come out of the posture, you'll simply flutter your eyes open. You can make your way over onto laying on your side once you've removed your props. So you're going to move those out of the way, or you can come up onto your forearms. So either doing that or making your way onto your side, and then just gently, you want to keep the idea of nice and soft, still, slow movements. You will gently make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. And so if you've been following along with my other videos related to this content of the basic foundational yoga postures, you will recall that most all of them can be done, and most yoga postures can be done seated in a chair. So if you don't have the capability of getting yourself all the way down onto the earth to sit or lie flat, perhaps you need something to take up space between the earth and your sits bones. A chair is a really great option for that. And Shavasana is no different. You can absolutely practice this posture in a chair. So with most other postures, I recommend that you come forward. But for Shavasana, we want to be more relaxed. So just simply having your back up against your chair, whichever chair you choose. I do like for the modifications with these postures, I do like to have these folding type chairs. They are much more sturdy and better for practicing these postures. So you're going to bring the soles of the feet to the earth. Just let your palms rest on the tops of your thighs. Let your shoulders be soft down your back. Having your back relaxed up against the chair, take a deep breath in, and then as you breathe out, close your eyes down. And as you close your eyes down, feel all of the parts of your body coming into a relaxed position. And once again, this is simply a seated meditation. And once again, we want to bring our full focus to our breath. And every time your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, let that focus return to your breath. And so if coming into the seated meditation version of the practice versus your Shavasana corpse pose is more your style, you don't have to necessarily leave your feet, the soles of the feet, down on the floor if you need more support and you would like to kind of keep the legs in more of the traditional Shavasana type style. You can always let the soles of the feet rest on some sturdy books or your yoga blocks or anything else that you might need that might help to take up space between the earth and the soles of your feet. Letting your palms rest on your thighs once again, once you have come to that position where you're propping your feet up. Growing long in the spine, let the shoulders be soft down the back, closing your eyes down, softening your face and jaw, feeling all of the areas of your body just relax down into this posture, bringing your tongue off of the roof of your mouth and just rest. And every time your mind wanders, let it come back to the natural rhythms of your breath. Some benefits of your Shavasana corpse pose. This is the mother and father of all yoga postures. So full body benefits. This is a really great way to integrate your practice all the way down to a cellular level. So as I have previously mentioned, this posture it finishes out your practice. So if you've gone through an hour, hour and a half, or even a 15-minute, 30-minute practice, ending with Shavasana tells your body that it's time to take the full benefits of all of what you've been practicing. So hip opening postures, heart opening postures, balancing postures. Your body will integrate your full practice all the way down to a cellular level. So cell memory comes in here, muscle memory comes in here. So many benefits to this wonderful posture. It also is a really great way to calm your nervous system, lower your vital signs. So it's a great way to lower your heart rate and to lower your blood pressure. If you are anxious or stressed, even if you're not in a yoga practice, if you're anxious or stressed and you need a de-stress, if you can even take a moment, even if you can't lay flat on the earth, if you can take a moment to just sit in a chair, close your eyes down and bring your attention to your breath, that is the next best thing to practicing your Shavasana corpse pose. And that in itself can help to calm your nervous system and get you out of that fight or flight mode that can create anxiety and just bring you back to a normal state of being. I also highly suggest practicing this posture outside and simply laying down on the earth and soaking up some of the earth's energy. If you are in a place that you can do that, that is also a wonderful option. Thank you so much for following along with this series and checking in with this entire video, watching it in its entirety. I so greatly appreciate your love and support. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, please feel free to leave those in the comments section or reach out to me personally. If you like this content, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, where you will see much more of similar content pertaining to your yoga practice. And as always, have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon. Namaste.